letters in math?
Variables.
Variables. You gotta know what all these variables represent, okay? This is very similar to what we did yesterday. Why do you think it's 1 plus?
It's going up.
Its interest is always going to be growth.
Yes.
So it's always going to be 1 plus, okay? P stands for your principal, okay? What did it say principal is right there? Principal is the what? The start. Is that where we put the start yesterday outside the parentheses? Okay? Then I've got 1 plus, what does this R stand for? Rate. Your rate's normally a what? Percent, okay? This N is where it gets a little bit different, okay? It says N is the number of times it's compounded yearly. So that means how many times they're going to give you interest on it. If it's compounded quarterly, how many times do you think that is? 4, because aren't there 4 quarters in a whole? Yes? No? Okay. What if it was compounded monthly? What number would go there? How many months are in a year?
12.
12 would go there, okay? So N is the number of times it's compounded. What do you think T is? The amount of time. So if they're asking in 5 years, that's where you would put that 5. Okay? So if I'm looking at number 1, it says Kimberly's family invested in a certificate of deposit for her when she was born. The initial investment was $3,000 with an annual interest rate of 8%. The interest is compounded quarterly. Anybody know what a certificate of deposit is? Okay? So what a certificate of deposit is like, let's say you have $3,000 you put in the bank. Okay? If you have a certificate of deposit, you cannot touch that money until the time's up. So like if you have a regular bank account, you put money in it, can you spend it? Like if you have a debit card, like it comes out, all those things. Certificate of deposit, you put it there and you can't touch it. So can you spend that money? But while it's sitting in there, it's going to make you more money. Okay? So what is our principal in this? What's the starting amount? 3,000. Okay? We're actually not going to fill in our A right now. A is going to be your answer. Okay? A is going to be the amount at the end of this. What's our rate? 8%. Do I have to put percent? Yes? All right. N is the number of times it's compounded. This says it's compounded what? Quarterly. How many times a year is that?
4.
4. All right. And T is the amount of time. What's my time going to be? Right here. It wants to know at the end of 5 years, so T is going to be 5. Now, all you have to do is put it in the formula, and then you have to put it in your calculator, and then you're done. Okay? So I'm going to start with 3,000. What's coming next? Parentheses. 1 plus 8% over 4 raised to the what? Okay, I do need the 5 because 5 is your T. But is there just a T up there? There's also a what? What's your N?
4.
4. So am I going to put 4 or 5? What does that look like? 45. What needs to go around this 5 or this 4 so I know it's not 45? Parentheses. Good. Now, all you have to do is type that in your calculator. Okay? So, I'm going to give you, tell me what you got. Miles, read it to me. What's your final answer?
4457.
Read it like you know how to read a number.
4,457
Dollars. Good.
84 cents.
And 84 cents. Are we okay with that answer right there? Can we get that in our calculator? Now, let's talk about this. About how much money did you make in this account? Yeah, you made like $1,400. Did you have to do anything? No, it just sat there and made you money. Okay, good. All right, let's look at number, we're going to skip 2. Let's look at 3. Okay, it says, what is the difference in the value after 10 years of an initial investment of $2,000 at a 5% annual interest when compounded quarterly rather than annually? Okay, we're going to start with annually. What is our starting amount, y'all? What's our principal? 2,000. All right, what is, am I going to fill in my A right now? No, okay. What's my rate? 5%. What is my N? If I'm talking about compounded annually, annually means how many times a year?
1.
12 would be monthly. Annually would be
1.
1. Okay, if it's annually, it's just once a year. Okay? And then what's my amount of time? 10 years. Good. So if I'm just trying to figure this out right now for annually, I'm going to put it in my formula. All I have to do is replace my variables. What's my P going to be? 2,000 parentheses. What?
1 plus
1 plus what?
5%.
5% over 1 raised to the 10. Can that 10 be by itself? Parentheses. What goes to the 10?
1.
1. All right, stick down your calculator. How much money did you make if it was compounded annually? 3,000 and 75 cents? 79 cents? Yeah. All right, so now the next thing it wants to know how much it's going to be if it's compounded quarterly. Is your principal going to change? Is your principal going to change?
No.
Is your rate going to change?
No.
Is your end going to change?
Yes.
Okay, if it's compounded quarterly, how many times a year is that?
4.
4. So instead of a 1, I'm going to use a, is my time changing? No. Okay, so I'm going to use everything right here that I kept the same, but instead of a 1, I'm going to use a what? 4. All right, figure out what that is. All right, they had 20,000, or sorry, 2,000. Everybody go to 2,000. 1 plus, yes, no. Okay, why is it plus?
It's going up.
It's going to be growth. 5% over 4. We could with 5% over 4. Why is it 4? What word tells me 4?
Quarterly.
Quarterly raised to the 10th. Parentheses what? 4. Go look at your formula. Is this up here, y'all? Is this just a T? It's a N and a T. So do you have to have both? Yes. Okay. What should you get for your quarterly answer?
$3,287.
$3,287.24. All right. Now, is that what the problem asked you to find, or was there another question? What did the question ask you to find?
The difference.
The difference. How do you find the difference between these two numbers? Subtract them. And what should you get when you subtract them?
29.45.
29, what is this? $29 and I think you should get 45 cents if you rounded correctly. All right, I need everybody to do number 4. If you can convince me you can do number 4, we'll be done with notes. Everybody, what is your principal, Greg? What's your principal on number 4? 6,500, good. All right, am I going to fill out my A on this? Okay, what's your rate, Asia? 8%. This is the number one mistake I saw. Yo, what should your N be? 12. That's how many times it's compounded in a year. And what is your time? 7. You need to make sure that you are taking these numbers and substituting them in exactly as they should be in the formula. Okay? Don't just assume things. Did I have any, did I have a 4 anywhere in here? Did I have a 1 anywhere in here? So should you have a 4 or a 1 when you put it into your formula? No. Okay, so you should have 6,500 parentheses 1 plus what? Over 12 raised to the 7 parentheses 12. What, Achilles, did you get for your answer?
11,358
Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, now, it did not ask you this. How would you figure out how much money you made off of interest?
Subtract.
You would take this minus 6,500. Okay, and that'd tell you how much money you make off interest. Everybody okay? All right. One thing, what we're about to do next. Oh, no. Okay. Here's what we're about to do. We're going to do the scavenger hunt around the room. But what you need to know, is interest always compound? No. So there's going to be some problems. We're all going to get new seats tomorrow, unless you convince me that, I'm not convinced. So stop talking while I'm talking. Okay? Unless it uses the word compound, are you going to use the compound interest formula? If it does not use the compound formula, you're going to use what we did yesterday. Okay? What is A right here? A is always your what? Start. 1 plus, what's this R? Rate. And what goes where that X is? The amount of what? Time. Okay? If it doesn't use compound, normal formula. If it says compound, you need to use the compound formula. Okay? Since y'all have 10 minutes before they call you on the intercom, I only need 3 problems done on the scavenger hunt.
Okay.
3 problems. Okay? So, there's notebook, paper, and a clipboard. You can start wherever you want. 3 problems, and then you're done. I am taking it